Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Alright, so today is going to be a different kind of video. So as you can see, I have my Pokemon Sapphire and Pokemon Ruby cartridges out. Reason for that being is that I'm actually going to be fixing them today. As you can see, this one is a already completed repair of Pokemon Ruby. This was the previous battery inside of it, and this is the fixed final product that you can get. And just to prove that it works, I have my Game Boy out. As you can see, it's actually turning on. Why is it white screening? That's not normal. Okay, it's just an error with the actual Game Boy itself. As you can see, the internal battery still is running, and I still have all the functions. So basically, I'm going to be doing that to the Sapphire game. But I am extremely nervous about this because I've owned the Sapphire game since I was like 5 years old, so if I screw this up and I break it, I'm going to be really, really sad. So tools that you're going to need. First of all, for the battery, you're going to want a CR200 or CR2016 3-volt battery. It's really thin, looks like this. You're going to want a tri-wing screwdriver. Now they don't sell these at Home Depot. I think they just make them in like the somewhere over in Asia, like China or Japan or something like that. It's really, really specific. It's got like a It literally has like a Y-shaped tip on it, and you're gonna need to like basically order these off Amazon. You're also gonna want a file to scrape off some of the solder, because there is a little bit of glue and solder and stuff. And you're also gonna want a really thin knife, like an Exacto knife or one of these things. So once you get all of those tools, you're ready to begin. Okay, so the first step is that you're going to want to take the screw out of the back. It's actually not that hard to do. You just need the right screwdriver. Don't try any other like substitutes, because I've seen other people try to do that and they usually end up like actually breaking the screw. So I would not recommend a substitute. I'd actually just get the screwdriver like I did. It was really cheap. It was only like $5. Alright, so once the screw is out, you just slide the front off and open it up like so. As you can see, here's the little internal workings. You're going to want to take the actual chip out of the cartridge, and then we can start working from there. Okay, this is the really nerve-wracking part. As you can see on the actual chip, there are 2 points right here. That's where the glue / solder stuff is. You're going to actually have to pry this battery out. And to do that, you're going to have to kind of get underneath it with the knife and then, actually, pop it open, and then you can slide the other battery in, which is what I'm going to do now. And this is kind of a long process, so I'm going to actually pause until I have the front one off and to show you what that looks like. And then I'll probably pause again and then get the back one off. Also, quick PSA, do not cut anything on here. From what I've heard, if you screw up, like, don't like try to hold it, like place it flat and then go for it, and don't, because you might like snap it in half, and don't like cut anything on the actual chip, because from what I've heard, you can actually lose all your save file, the game won't work anymore, and then you'll just be SOL, and I can't help you there. So make sure to be really, really careful with this, because it is a fragile object. Okay, so I finally got the first part off. As you can see, I can actually slide this underneath it. I actually brought out the bigger tool for it because this wasn't exactly cutting it. This one's a little bit better. It's actually sharper, and I can actually get into like a tight space better because it's a little bit more stabby like. So this is the first one off. If you really want to, you can try to bend it back just a little bit, so that way there's a little bit of space, so that way you can actually get underneath and try to hack at the bottom half. which is what I'm going to be doing next. I'm really nervous about, damaging this. I really don't want to break this in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to be like taking some extra special precautions and trying to, be like really careful with it and really slow with it, so that way I make sure that I don't break it and that I actually, can actually fix this thing. So once that's done, I'll be back. Okay, so I finally got the battery off. As you can see here, like the little glue marks as to where it was like positioned on the actual thing. As you can see, it took a little bit of prying to do. This one was so much more helpful than this one, honestly. So next up, what you're going to want to do is, these prongs, even though they're a little bit bent now, it's perfectly fine. All you need them to do is really just stay attached to here and here, their solder points, and then also make sure that they don't like really crack or anything. If they do, there are some substitutes that you can use to repair them, but this can be costly and expensive. A lot of people try to repair these things by using like a soldering iron and then removing this and then reattaching it. Personally, for me, that's A, way too expensive, and B, I don't actually have the time or supplies to do that. And it just seems like a little bit more, frightening to do, and something I'd be like a lot more stressful about. And so the next step right here is just, as you can see, where they were attached, you're going to want to almost like kind of grind down the glue that was on there, so that way it actually, will connect to the battery once you put it in. This can take a little bit, but you only have to do it a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Doesn't take too much. Just a little bit of back and forth, and the glue should be fine after that. Once this is gone, you're going to want to take your CR 2016 battery, remove the tape from the back, and what you're going to want to do is put it right in between there. Make sure that both prongs are touching the battery. If you want to flatten it out, what you can do is that you put the battery in and then take it and push down, so that way the prongs almost flatten with the battery. And then once the battery is in and flattened, what you're going to want to do is get another piece of equipment that I accidentally did not bring with me, but I will go get in a second. Okay, one of the most important tools, duct tape. I was going to use regular old gray duct tape, but I could not find any, so I'm just going to use this blue kind of tape. You're just going to want to stick the piece of duct tape or masking tape or whatever you want to call it right on top of the battery. Now I understand that this is kind of like propped up a little bit and it's not really staying down, but the way that we are going to get it to stay down is once you put this back in its case, the case will actually push it down for you. So that way you don't really have to go through all of that. Battery is staying in there, not moving around. Take the screw, place it back into the cartridge. Be sure to get it in the right grooves. Don't screw it up like I just did. Hold on. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, I got it in the right grooves. Just got to tighten this down. Don't tighten it any more than it has to be. When you feel it stop, you stop. There you go. And now, the final test to see if I actually did it correctly and didn't screw up. Well, that's good. The Nintendo shows up. It's not glitched or anything. The game's loading properly. Okay, internal battery still run dry. So that means I have to go back and place the battery in again and try it again. Don't be too frustrated or nervous the first time you try this. First time I tried this with the Ruby, the internal battery didn't work and I had to pull it open again, but that's perfectly okay. Just gotta check on it again. Make sure that the battery and the prongs are all stable. Flatten out the prongs if you can to just make it more likely to work. You can do this by placing it underneath and then pushing down a little bit hard so that way it actually flattens out the prong. I don't know if you can see it, but prong is pretty flat now. Another alternative to that would just be, you know, taking something just like better tape or something, and then actually, you know, keeping it down, and I don't know. So let's keep trying. Here we go. Place it back and get the screw in correctly. Not talking too much because I want to be really, really precise and I don't want to screw this up. So I'm sorry if the commentary is lacking. There we go. Alright, now it's screwed in. Stop there. Let's try this again. Nintendo sign is not glitched. That's good. Come on. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. Hold on. Let me try to fix this again. Okay, so I finally fixed the game. As you can see, the error pop-up message no longer occurs, and I still have full function of my character and everything that I am doing. So, this Sapphire cartridge is officially fixed. And I am so thrilled about that. The error message kept popping up, mainly because I went back and I used the file again. I scraped off a little bit more glue that was still there and solder and stuff. That really helped, and then I made sure that the battery was actually in the correct position, and it wasn't. So basically, you just gotta try to make sure that the prongs are always flat, pressed up against that battery. Make sure that the battery is like negative to positive and positive to negative. Make sure it's on the right side, and then also make sure that the tape isn't covering anything important, and also be sure to just basically keep, if you can get to the point where you can put the battery in and out and keep trying to fix it, eventually you're probably going to get it to work, and it should be all fine and dandy from there. So if you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, here's all the supplies. As for these batteries, you can just throw them away, or you can keep them as like memorabilia, because you never see these things ever again. Make sure to get this tri-wing screwdriver. Make sure to have one of these little blades.